I'm Tammy Danna, and I live in Lonsdale, Arkansas. I'm a lupus warrior. I was, uh, I've always been sick since my childhood, but I was misdiagnosed for probably a long time. I have always been sick, as I said, but I've went in to have a knee surgery, and I was told several years ago, about six, that my blood work came back wrong and that I should go back in. And I said, well, what did it come back with? And they said, oh, it says that you have lupus. I said, I have lupus. And I didn't really know what, I knew it was an autoimmune disease. And I said, well, wait a minute. I have fibromyalgia and I have diabetes and I have a lot of other things wrong with me. And I did some research and I said, well, wait a minute. That kind of makes sense of what is all wrong with me. And they said, oh, you can't have lupus. It's just a wrong blood test. Well, I went back in for the second blood test. There it was again. And the knee doctor said, oh, that's wrong. They've probably got you mixed up with somebody else's blood work. And so they sent it back and did it another time. Well, I wasn't feeling bad that day and the blood work was fine. So they did it a third time. Well, of course, I was feeling fine, and the blood work came back with no flares or anything. So nothing came back wrong with it. So after that, he said, see, I told you it was just a mess up. It was fine. So then I went and continued and didn't think about it anymore, but it always nagged. So about 6-7 years later, I just continued to have bad health, and some days are fine. And well, as fine as I'm going to get with everything else that's wrong with me. So, and then some days I can't hardly move. I can't sleep at night. My health deteriorates, and you wonder what's wrong with you. Or is it just all in your head? Because some doctors dismiss you and you just think, well, maybe I am crazy, because the doctors keep telling me, oh, it's just you're getting old. I'm only 45, and this has been going on for years. So you just think, well, maybe I am a little off. Maybe I am, you know, as you know, my my family members used to tell me, well, maybe you're just being a weenie. Maybe you can't take the pain anymore. Maybe you just, you're just whining a little too much. Well, then there's days that you can't move and you just don't want to wait, maybe you just don't want to get out of bed. You can't wake up, you can't move, you can't hardly do anything. It hurts to breathe. It hurts to be touched. And you wonder what's wrong with you. Well, then 6-7 years later, I went back to the doctor because that day I just had enough. I cried myself to sleep the night before, and I wondered what was wrong with me. And I just had enough. I went to my family physician and I said, I can't move. I'm swollen. My face looks like someone painted me red. I've got sores all over me. I can't breathe without it hurting. I can barely, my fingers look like sausages. I can't move. I'm dying in agony. Please do something. Kill me or cure me. One of the two. Something's got to give. He said, well, let's go in the lab and get some blood work. Well, a couple of days pass and I go back in and say, what did you find? What did you find? I can't do anything. What did you find? And he said, well, your blood work came back and you have lupus. And I said, there's that again. Now, are you going to tell me it's all in my head? And he said, no, ma'am, you have lupus. Your numbers are there. They're low, but they're there. And then that's when I found out that, not all numbers are going to be skyrocketed numbers. You've got to be kind of in a flare sometimes. Some people have to be in a flare, or they have to have that number. Your antibodies have to be in that fight or flight pattern for them to show up for some people. And they just happened to be at that point where I was feeling bad. And so from then on, so that's been a few years now, and I've probably had it, he said, probably all my life. And that's probably what led to the other diagnoses and things that have been wrong with me. And like yesterday, it had rained, but I got to enjoy my husband's company. It was his day off, and we got to go out shopping. I went to the mall, and I felt pretty good. You know, no day's perfect, but I got to go and enjoy the mall and and go shopping. And then today, overnight, there's horrible weather and risk of, you know, there's hurricanes and things coming in through Louisiana, and it's affecting our weather here in Arkansas. And I haven't been able to hardly get out of bed today. And you struggle like that with this disease, but you have to fight it. That's why we're called lupus warriors, because you are a warrior. You know, people will look at you sometime, and you know, some days you look fine, you know, except for a little blotchy face, or you know, your sores here or there, you know, you have from your skin breaking out. But most of the time you don't look like you have anything wrong with you. But then you feel like you're dying on the inside. You can't move, you can't, you know, you feel like you're broken. Every bone in your body feels like it's broken. Every muscle feels like it's being ripped out of its socket sometimes. Where you put together feels like it's just going to fall apart. It hurts to breathe, like I say. And you can't have anybody touch you because it just feels like they're just bruising you all over. But you got to remember, you can't just curl up in a ball and you can't just curl up in a ball and quit. Those are the days that you got to go fight harder, fight, just fight. Because you got to remember you're a warrior. Because if you just give up and lay down, it's going to be worse. You just got to keep on keeping on. Because you got to do something about it. And if you just give up, it's going to be worse, and it's going to end a lot worse than if you just keep on keeping on. You just got to smile. And I want to thank the Arkansas Lupus Foundation for letting me give my testimony, and I hope it helps someone. And I want to thank Miss Gail for letting me give my testimony out today. So, like I said, just keep on keeping on, people. Thank you.